Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Come on in, grab a coffee, a tea, something, sit down and relax and settle in for some conversation. So, for those of us that have been paying attention to what's going on in the world around us, welcome to the apocalypse. So I'm half joking. I know it isn't really the apocalypse, but if you know what's going on, the stores are empty. People are a little bit nervous. Some people are in full panic mode, and we'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. So that's actually what I wanted to talk about today is my new series, hopefully a short-lived one, that I'm calling the Corona Apocalypse for pretty obvious reasons. So you'll notice that there's a little light coming at me from the back. It looks like the sun's shining on me. That is not true. I am not outside in the sunshine. I'm actually in my office, and that's a lamp I have in the background there, back in the corner. So I do also want to apologize for the delay in videos. I actually have two that are still in editing process. I started to have some trouble with my editing, and so those have kind of been put on hold. Hopefully we'll get them back. I'm a couple of months behind, not days, weeks. I'm actually a couple of months behind on getting those edited and uploaded due to technical difficulties and limited time availability. So all of that said, the reason we're here today, let's talk about this. COVID-19. Who knew that this would bring on so much panic? So fortunately for a lot of us, we have jobs that, while our companies prefer us to be on site, sorry, yes, I'm fiddling. Our job functions can actually be performed remotely, which is the case for me. My company actually Friday sent us all home early with all of the appropriate equipment from our desks in the office so that we can work remotely until further notice. Was this a panic move? I don't think so. This is just a safety precaution. There's a lot of information and misinformation and conflicting information going around in the media about COVID-19. I believe my company, along with a lot of companies, just wants their employees to be safe. And, you know, if we're working at home, we're not in the office getting each other sick, whether it's the flu, a cold, or what have you. And now with this coronavirus, it's some of the information I've gotten on that is that it is more contagious than the common flu we're used to. It also has a strange incubation period. So you might be infected with it without seeing any symptoms for weeks. I mean, I think a video I watched just this morning, it was a TED Talks, actually, and I'll get that for you. Um, Alana Shock. Alana Shock is a global health expert, and she has a TED Talk, so I do recommend viewing that. But I think, and my times might be off, I think she said 21 or 24 days. I could be getting information mixed up with another video that I watched this morning about this as well. So I apologize if my resources aren't in perfect order. And that's exactly part of the problem, is people hear things from one resource and another resource and the radio and YouTube and Facebook and their friends and this TV station and that other TV station. And so people don't really know what to believe. And it is causing people to get a little nervous. So what I was saying is that people can be sick with this or not sick. I think that was an inappropriate term. People can be infected or carrying this and not know it. And so it's not worrying about us getting sick. It's who are we carrying it to if we happen to have it ourselves. Most young, healthy adults are only seeing mild symptoms, average cold and flu symptoms that may not be appearing until long after they've been contagious and passing it on. That is the big concern. So if I don't know I have it, or you don't know you have it, and we go visit grandma in the nursing home, or we have an elderly parent living with us, or we have a cancer patient in our household, all of these things can play a part in how this affects our lives. So we bring that home and carry it to those more susceptible people who will ultimately have more severe symptoms. That's where people are, that's why we have to be more careful during this time. Now, the apocalypse part, this is where I'm having a little bit of fun. And maybe I'll do a whole video on the biblical apocalypse at some point and my theories. But for now, whoever thought that we'd have an illness that would essentially shut down major countries, major parts of the world. I did not see this coming. I thought people were overreacting. I even joked about it, even with friends at work, my friends in private. Who thought the common cold would bring us down? And I say that because the coronavirus, according to some sources that I can't remember, again, so much information coming at us all the time, but it's responsible for about 30% of the cases of the common cold. However, this new version, this novel COVID-19, is clearly more problematic than the common cold for reasons that I've just explained, and I'm sure there's more. Go check out the CDC facts. Go check out the TED Talks on the subject. There's a lot of good information out there if you go to the right sources. Don't rely on your news station. Don't rely on the press or, sadly, some of our public officials are even presenting bad information, which is a little scary to me, but I think we'll get through this. We just have to exercise some common sense. So, that said, um, I went to the grocery store yesterday just to pick up a few essentials because, as I said, my company has instructed us to work from home. It is not optional. It is a mandatory requirement of our jobs. Right now, we are working remotely. Therefore, I thought I would go to the store and stock up on a few essentials. In the office, we order lunch. Sometimes someone will go out and pick up lunch and bring it back. Um, sometimes we bring our lunch, you know, the usuals. But being I'm at home and I live in a rural area, I won't get a quick 20-minute trip out and back to pick up lunch, and nobody delivers to me. So I went to stock up on some basic supplies that I would pick up if I was taking my lunch to the office. The store was nuts, let me tell you how crazy this was. And I'm kind of regretting not taking out my phone and snapping photos of the shelves and taking video of the people running around the store. It was crazy. I went to the larger grocery store that I have within a reasonable distance, and they were completely out of all paper towels, Kleenex, bathroom tissue. They were out of milk, out of eggs, water. There was no water. They were even the big pallets of soda that they put on sale were substantially less stocked than usual. Oh, what else? Just so much. They were out of so much. So I went to a second store. I picked up what I could, and I decided to go ahead and go to the other store. Same chain, just different location. They were out of the same things. However, what they had done was started to stock while I was there. They were out of milk and eggs, but they were restocking as quickly as they could. It was a smaller store, a little more rural than the first one, so it kind of made sense. Then the other thing they did, which I actually think was a good thing, was they put purchasing limits. So you could buy 2 gallons of milk, 2 cartons of eggs, 2 packs of bathroom tissue, 2 bottles of dish soap. They didn't do it on everything, just the stuff that people are essentially selling out of. So now I want to get to survival, okay? This is why I think it was a great thing that they put purchasing limits, because people are overstocking in some kind of panic and not leaving things for other people. Why? Why? We realize that this is a problem. Yes, people are going to be quarantining themselves at home. But why do you need 5 years worth of paper towels? Seriously? The reason that we run into problems with running out of things and people not being able to get what they need, is people panicking and overbuying. Yes, we want to all be stocked up a little bit. Yes, buy a little extra. It makes sense, but not to the point that you're leaving none for anybody else. One person shouldn't clear the shelf of toilet paper. That said, I'm trying to get off my soapbox here, but it is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy when people do that. And I don't recommend it. It's not like the world is going to come to an end. We don't have zombies. We don't have people dropping dead around us every day. It's not that kind of situation yet. Will it get there? I'm hoping not, and it probably won't. That's the whole purpose of the self-quarantine and companies having their employees work from home. Great. Let's get a little extra, have what we need, and hopefully this will blow over and life will get back to normal in a few weeks. So the the other thing that I would like to recommend to people is use a handkerchief instead of disposable tissues. Something you can throw in the washer. Okay, we all need toilet paper. We're not going to change that. We understand. Um, but people being afraid of running out of things, it's it's a little, and forgive me if I hurt anybody's feelings because that's not my intention here, but it is a little irritating, and I find it to be not the best use of your brain to worry about certain things. Yes, no, none of us want to run out of food. We don't want to run out of toilet paper. I get that. But again, if we run out of Kleenex, handkerchiefs, people use them for centuries. And they get washed, they get sanitized and reused. It's better for the environment, it's less wasteful on disposable product, etc., etc. Not trying to preach here. It's just an option. So a little less worry about that. Also, people worrying about diapers. Okay, if you take your babies to daycare will not take them without disposable diapers. I know, I've been there. I understand, I get it. Parents that stay at home, if you run out of diapers, run out of disposables, opt for cloth. Not for all the preachy environmental reasons that a lot of people go to. And those are the reasons that I did opt for cloth at home with my child. But in this situation, it frees up the disposables for when they're needed most, which isn't at 7 o'clock in the evening bathing and getting the kids ready for bed. So lots of people use cloth. It's not the most convenient. Yes, it sucks having to wash diapers, but if you run out, it's an option. And again, they can be washed and sanitized and keep your baby healthy and clean. Just suggesting that there are options. If you have a home water filter, maybe buy less of the bottled water and use your own filtered water. Um, there's lots of things we can do. And for me, I'm more bothered by the inconvenience than I am worrying that I'm going to get sick. And now that I'll be working at home full time, I don't expect to be exposed to as much or have as much opportunity to pass on any illness that I might get. Because to tell the truth, I get sick easy. I I get sick. Drop of a pin, somebody sneezes in Germany and I've got some full-blown sinus infection or something, right? I get sick. I stay sick. Bronchitis. Last year, I had some viral thing in January and February. Just recovered, feeling amazing. 2 weeks, and I was full-blown sick again with a horrible case of bronchitis that lasted weeks and weeks. I'm not afraid of this. I don't want to get it. I don't want to get sick. I mean, let's just face it. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get somebody else sick. Just, just, I'd rather not. But I'm more irritated by the lack of common sense and the lack of courtesy than I am worried about this virus. I have concerns, absolutely. I have people in my life that I am very concerned about, that I don't want I don't want them to get sick. And I don't want to get sick myself. That said, it's going to be an interesting ride, and hopefully in a few days things will calm down. We'll be able to go back to the store and pick up the things we couldn't get. That's my concern, is not being able to pick up a few everyday basics. Forget overstocking on extra of everything. When you just can't even go get a box of Kleenex or a carton of eggs, that's a little frustrating. So I think this is coming in kind of waves. So we go to the store, one wave of people panics, they overbuy, they don't leave enough on the shelves for the people that can't get there as early as them, right? Or don't have as much money to buy the same quantity at one time. So then the second wave of people goes to the store. They see that a lot of stuff is bought out. The stock is dwindling. So what do? The same thing, out of fear that other people are going to buy everything up and they won't be able to get it. So what do? We have to get it while we can. And then those of us that don't get off work until 6 o'clock and get to the store until 7 o'clock at night, maybe 7:30, depending on traffic, we get to pick through what's left over, if anything. And now we can't even order stuff online. Seriously hoping this blows over. Okay, I have ranted about this enough. Fortunately, as I said, there are some solutions and alternatives, and hopefully we won't need to resort to the less convenient alternatives but at least we know they're available. And I'll try to think of some more ideas too. I actually used to make soap. I had a line of um, bath and body products that I used to make and sell. And I was joking this morning that it was time to get back in the soap business. But I also would recommend maybe learning how to make soap. You know, not, well, I mean, it is fun for me. I enjoy it. But it's not everybody's favorite activity to do that kind of thing. And I understand. But if the stores run out and you can't get it, it can be made. It's not a crisis. Soap can be made. Um, Again, instead of using disposable products, use reusable, washable products where we can and where it makes sense. Um, Instead of using paper towels to clean off a spill on the kitchen counter, reach for the dishcloth, a sponge. There's options. Let's explore. Let's try some different things. And hopefully we can all get through this together, because ultimately we are all in this together. That said, I know my opinions may not be popular. I know that a lot of the things that we talk about aren't convenient. And I, for one, am feeling particularly inconvenienced by what I was not able to get at the store. Fortunately for me, I'm pretty stocked up, at least for a couple of weeks worth of most of my paper products, because we just try to keep a month's, we try to stay stocked up in general. Um, so, I think that's all I've got to say on this today. But I am definitely trying to see the humor in it. And instead of a zombie apocalypse, this is, in my version, it's the Corona apocalypse. And I hope you all stay safe and healthy. I'm going to try to do the same. We'll touch base on this again in the coming days. Let's see how this plays out. I'm sure we'll have updates from the World Health Organization, the CDC, etc. And one thing that I will say is good for me, at least working from home, is going to save me 3 to 4 hours a day worth of driving. Hooray for saving on gas. And it's going to save me, just so much time, gas money, give me more time at home with my family, and maybe I can start catching up on some things around the house that I've neglected over the past year with, with my mother's illness and everything that we've talked about in recent months. So hopefully, at least this part of it will give me an opportunity to regroup and reclaim my life and have a little extra time with the ones I love. So I'm hoping that you will all see it the same way and enjoy more time with your family as well. Thank you so much for checking in with me. Stay blessed, and we'll be in touch very soon. So yes, See, I just changed my hair and pulled it all up. But I did come back to say, if you agree, disagree, um, have something to add, please enter the comments below. Um, Subscribe, like, share, um, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you feel, but please feel free to share your comments. Just please also be respectful. There are people who are seriously ill, and again, my I use humor as a coping mechanism, so I definitely don't intend disrespect towards anyone. Uh, but please leave me your comments if you agree, don't agree. This is just an encapsulated version of what I feel my entire um, the entire scope of what I think and feel about these things isn't here. I'm trying to be as honest and real as possible about it, but you just can't get everything in a few minutes. So that said, again, stay blessed, and uh, I will see you soon.